Welcome back to another creepy episode of the Ad Files, everyone. And back with me again, as always, is none other than the ghost hunter himself, Daniel of
Yes.
Arius and the Nation. What's up, my friend?
Cheers. What's going on, man? Good to be back in the podcast seat. I know. Next up is getting the soundboard so we can do
yeah,
rounds of applause for everyone.
yeah. You know what? We do need a soundboard.
Oh,
That'd be great because we need the little drums
yep.
too.
Yes.
But,
Yep. We definitely do.
so again,
But
today we have our stories. You have yours. I have mine.
yep.
And I like yours. It's very interesting. So I can't wait for the people to hear it.
Yeah. I think this story is at least what I'm going to the questions I'm going to stir up are very relevant and very current. But
And
but
and yet again, in case anybody's wondering, we did not kill ourselves.
100%, it's going to be on a shirt that's going to come to the merch store.
Yeah, we
It's going to
we
be our
didn't do it.
faces.
our,
Yeah, it's
our
going to be
shirt's
our
gonna say we
faces.
didn't do it on
love our
purpose.
life. Yeah. Yes. I did not kill myself. All right.
All right.
All right. So what do we got?
All right. So in this episode, we'll talk about a recent paranormal encounter in a home in Gary, Indiana in 2011. Now, this encounter is hard to explain. So the house belonged to a woman named Latoya and her three children. She actually was renting the home. From all accounts, they seemed like a normal little family, but that would that would change. The family started to hear footsteps going up and down to the basement. They would experience weird sounds and the typical doors opening and closing on their own. And it would get worse. It was like something out of a movie. Like seriously.
Huh. So like
Yeah.
level 10 haunting,
Well, right now it's like a
right?
level 2.5.
2.5. But I mean,
Right now.
hearing footsteps like constantly, like that's not once in a while. Like when you actually know that you can discern that they're footsteps, that's pretty that's a pretty big disturbance in the force.
Well, I think again, I'm not a ghost hunter. I'm not a ghostbuster, and I assume that it starts off slowly and kind of gradually goes up from there.
Hmm. Got it.
I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean it kind of makes sense. I mean if a place is, let's say, haunted and the spirit is like, are these people cool? Are they not cool? Are they easy pickings? Let's
Right,
do this thing and see what we
right.
can push. I don't even know if ghosts work like that. I have to ask my ghost friends. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't either. So it's actually a good question to ask somebody that hunts ghosts because I don't hunt ghosts.
Nope.
I haven't.
Nope. Not at all.
So not at all. They would experience swarms of flies on their porch in the middle of winter and began to hear more strange noises and started seeing strange, shadowy figures of men pacing in their living room and would leave footprints throughout the house. That's terrifying. So now it's jumping up from a one to like a five.
Yeah. When they start like leaving footprints, that's so to me, like, okay, anything can kind of like make a noise. You could pass it off as settling, or whatever houses make weird noises, right? But when things start
Always.
leaving footprints, that means they have mass. And if they have mass, they can do physical harm. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
That's where it's a problem.
Right. Now again, this is like this is a ghost and it is moving things. So it is it's not nice. It's not a nice ghost. This is not somebody you're
Damn.
not like sitting down having a conversation with this
Mm.
thing. So if that wasn't enough, Latoya said that whatever was in the house possessed the children. The children would act in strange and violent ways. She said one time when her daughter had a friend over for a sleepover, her daughter would levitate above the bed, but her daughter didn't remember
Yeah.
anything about the incident. One of her sons was thrown across the room from an unknown force, and her younger son allegedly had his eyes roll on the back of his head, growled, and said, it's time to die,
Yeah,
and I will kill you. I mean, you know, I guess
the
evil.
normal kind of Monday stuff.
Yeah,
Kids
just
are
normal.
weird like that.
Yeah, silly children.
Silly children. What? I
Yeah.
don't know, man.
So apparently, yeah. So the uh, dude, and this takes off to like a whole nother thing, man. Whole nother like this is we're like in the middle of the story. Like this gets crazier too.
What? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean the kid's levitating. She doesn't remember. Now her friend is sleeping over, and I'm assuming her friend would, you know, go be scared out of her mind after that. Because I would.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, levitating is not normal, regardless of the amount of caffeine You've had. You know,
Right, yeah.
like I just
Yeah.
levitating. I say no to it a lot. It would help, but at the same time, like that freaks you out. That stays with you, and especially if you are the one levitating and you don't remember a thing, that's scary too. I That's a big no.
Oh, 100%, man. 100%. I don't I mean,
I but
you
but
hear the
I
old stories of ghosts or of houses doing or people doing stuff like that. And you're like, oh, okay, it's probably some other stuff. This isn't 2011, man.
what
Yeah.
2011?
2011.
Damn,
So,
damn, that's crazy. You know what? First and foremost, like if some shit like ever touched my child, we're leaving. Like period. Period. Like that's a no-brainer. Like granted, I know it's easier said than done to just
yeah,
up and
definitely.
leave a house,
Mhm.
but I can tell you no matter what, I'm not going back into that house with my children, or I will find a place for the children to stay. Go down the list of family members.
No. Oh, no, yeah, definitely. And believe me, I know people always said, why don't they just pack up their stuff and leave? Why don't they just get out of there? And it's like she's renting this home. She just moved in. She has her kids in there. It's like you really can't just like pick up and leave like that. Again, it's not 1920 where you could just
Yeah.
do that and start over down the road. This is 2011, man. You know,
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
so
Wow. Okay.
so the family finally reached out for some help by a physician, and he said they seemed delusional. They then contacted the police. The police took the kids to the hospital, and the younger boy screamed and thrashed while he was there. DCS, which is like the Child Protective Services,
Mm-hmm.
said they felt the kids were performing and putting an act on for the mother. But from some reports, it stated that DCS witnessed the younger son walking up the wall backwards and did a
Well,
flip at the hospital. So multiple people witnessed the boy doing this in an exam room. Multiple police were at the house, and they claim to have witnessed multiple strange things, heard noises, and they stated they have seen a dark ooze like substance coming from the windows. The police captain, Charles Austin, believed paranormal activity occurred in the house. The family got a priest to perform an exorcism over the house. He concluded that the family was being tormented by demons. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no
yeah.
kidding. He
So
had to perform.
not a ghost. Not this is not ghosts. This
No,
is demons.
this
All
is
right.
this is 100% demons. See, this is a big difference, and I think people get confused. Like ghosts and
Yeah.
demons, like it's the same thing. Like it's not the same thing. The
No.
demons are taking over these kids' lives, destroying just tormenting them. You
Yeah.
know, and possessing the kids.
That's oh my god.
And how do you
Oh my god.
explain the kid walking up the wall backwards and doing a flip?
You don't. You don't. And no one would. You know what I mean? Like think about the amount of paperwork that needs to be written to make that official. There
Right, right,
aren't procedures to handle that. So they just don't say nothing.
right.
You know? It's like if someone for me, like what happens if someone shot a Bigfoot and they had to call who? DNR? Do they have to call the police? The Department of Natural Resources. Like, who do they have to call to report? No one's going to take that call
No, no.
because that's massive. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. That's tough. That's a tough one. That's a
It's a
tough
lot to
one.
wrap your head around, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just kind of like how many like government agencies, not entities, government agencies have just left shit like this alone because they can't be
You
written down.
can't deal with it. You can't deal with it. How do you deal with
Yeah,
something like that?
yeah,
You
you have
can't.
absolutely nothing to deal with that. So
I mean, because what do you come back and say, like, okay, this is demonic or whatever, and then that like takes a whole nother thing, and then you have certain walls that are getting knocked down that people are like, oh, religious and
yep,
fanatics and stuff like
you
that. I mean, it goes on and on.
yeah, it's not just miles of red tape. And
Hmm.
I mean, because listen, you get on the record and saying that there's a demonic force, right? Then right off the rip, you are to believe that there must be an angelic force, because that's how the world works. It
Has to.
works in balance. If there's a devil, there has to be a god. If there's angels, there has to be demons. If there's a heads, there has to be a tails. It's balance. So you can't just pick and choose what you believe,
If there's
right?
a
It has
dog,
to
there
be,
has to be a cat.
yeah, there has to be both. There has to be both sides. So
Yin and
for a
yang.
government agency to say, yes, there's a demonic force possessing this house on the record, then that means there must be angels per the government.
Right.
So
So
they're not
then,
going to
and
do
then
that.
that would actually prove a higher power.
Yep. It precisely.
and and
Precisely.
and again, that would knock down this whole wall of religious beliefs. And I think in some circles it would probably mess some kind of, I don't know, what do you call it,
They would
it
lose
would just
funding. They
it
would
would
lose
just be
funding.
crazy. Like
They would lose
people would
money.
panic.
Period.
People would
Yep.
panic. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's
I mean,
just out of one. Yep. Just out of one thing. One thing's as innocuous as reporting on something like that you really can't explain. Like, you can't choose sides like that. And I mean, I understand the government isn't in that position, and it's probably they sent probably the rookie to go out and check it out, you know? And he's like, "Oh my god, it's demonic." Like, well, that's not going to be on your official report. It's unexplainable.
right. Right. It's not. It's just the mom. Well, then no, because it's one of those things too, where they would, like, something like that would happen, and then they would say, nope, the mother she's a bad mom, or she can't take care of her kids. um can't, the kids are doing this because they don't want the mom to
Yep.
go taken away or anything like that. And I mean, the kids were missing school, so they were, what is it, they called the child protective services on them, and they would come and check on them, and they're like, you're neglecting your kids. And I guess she wasn't taking them to school because they're being possessed, and they're going through all this
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm it takes a lot out of you.
I would assume. I don't know, man. It's different. So they called the police, or no, would you say they called CPS, right?
DCS.
Or DCS. I will
DC.
always call them CPS. I don't know why. It's Child Protective Services.
Yeah,
Um,
CPS. Oh, it's the same thing.
it's the
Same
same
thing.
thing, right? It's
It's the
like
same thing. Yeah.
DMV, MVA, like
Yeah, it's just
kind of
it's
thing.
the same thing. Yeah.
Got it. So
So CPS.
so so CPS went in and they checked the house out, but not in a police capacity, or they
They
did.
no, they no, okay, mm, so they went in, checked the kids, they took the kids and the mother, and they all went to the hospital. As they did that, the police were in the home checking out the home, where the police had started to witness and experience the same things as the family was.
Wow.
So, yeah, right. So that's why, like, that's part of the reason why I thought it was kind of fascinating, because it's so fascinating that the cops are in there and they're like, holy crap, like they're not lying. I
Yeah,
mean, you can't say that it's not true if you're in this place and you're looking at the window and there's ooze coming down, and they said they looked at the window to see if, oh, is this fake? Someone put some, like, there's nothing there, and there's just like this reddish dark ooze
yeah.
coming down the windows on the blinds, and they're like, what the heck is this? They're hearing noises, they're hearing voices, they're hearing footsteps, things are moving, and they're like, there's something in here, and it scared the crap out of the cops.
No. So what they end up doing, dude? Like, did they just
All
start
right, so
going crazy and putting caps in the walls? They're like, "Bah, bah, bah." They just turned it into
they just shot
fucking
it.
the OK Corral.
Yeah, they just shot everything. So the
Because that's what I would do. I was like, shoot it. Shoot what? All of it. Shoot it. See if it can bleed. It can die.
right. So the family did get a priest to perform exorcism over the house. He concluded that the family was being tormented by demons. He had to perform 3 exorcisms, 2 in English and 1 in Latin, and one was performed on Latoya herself. In 2012, just about a year or so later, Latoya and her family packed just some of the things they needed and left the house, leaving everything else behind. The property owner has also claimed that he has experienced strange occurrences in the house as well, and that it was difficult to find tenants willing to stay in the house. And the house was later bought in 2014 by Zach Baggins. It's that
Bilbo's son.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah. You can't have a name like Baggins and not have a Lord of the Rings joke thrown in there.
He's the what is he like on Ghost Encounters or Ghost Hunters or something like that?
That's yeah. What?
It's something like that. But he bought it, right? He bought the house. And then he made it into he went in and filmed it. He made a documentary film for it. It's on Netflix called Demon House. And then I guess stuff happened. Some people said it was, authentic, or it was like, yeah, this is real. What their experience is real. Other people thought it was trash and didn't. I never saw it. I didn't see it. I didn't
Hmm.
watch it. But other people were like, this is crap. It's not worth it. And blah, blah, whatever. But then in 2016, yes, in 2016, Satan himself came and rose up. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was
They
like,
demolished
what?
the house.
Really? Oh,
He said,
smart.
I am home. Now they demolished the house.
And they challenged him to a rock off and they beat him. And he's
Yeah.
down. He got sealed in hell for
He
another
was in
thousands of years.
yeah. He, he went to Indiana, got
Yeah.
beat by
Well,
some.
first he came up. He couldn't play the fiddle well. We've all heard that song in Georgia. And then now he's back in Latoya's basement. And maybe he chose a different weapon or a different instrument. Like,
Yeah. So that's pretty much what happened.
that is, I feel like, oh man, where's this house?
Gary, it was in Gary, Indiana.
It was in Gary,
Oh,
Indiana. That's a odd
so
place.
no, yeah, but my thing, it's one of those like poltergeist. What was the house built on? So
Yeah, I'm
was the house
thinking
built on some
Indiana.
area, like some native tribes that used to live there? They didn't do the whole like in poltergeist. Did they just like tear all the stuff out of there and build houses on
Indiana.
top of it? Um, you know,
I mean, I would say
you know what I
yeah,
mean? I mean, that's
but
what I think.
usually when you, I would say when you build on top of, let's say, sacred ground, in the way our cookie cutter houses are built, it's probably going to affect multiple houses.
You would
Like,
think, right? I mean,
you would think, I don't think the demons or the horde of hell itself would be very particular to one house. And
unless somebody
that's
put a spell or some kind of curse
curse.
on that. Yeah. Maybe they
I
try to
don't
put a
know, man.
curse on the previous owner of the home or something like that. I mean, who knows? I don't know. But there, like I said, there was a man, a shadowy figure walking around the house. So that's kind of weird.
Now, who does it say, or do you know who owned the house before the homeowner? Or who rented before Latoya? Because that's where I would
Um,
start. Like, there's no way the house was built haunted.
no, no, they don't have that section in Home Depot. Can I get
Haunted?
haunted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have the
Um,
windows that ooze?
no, it didn't say, I guess, who the original owner of the home was or anything like that. The
Hmm.
guy had it, and I guess he bought it from somebody else.
Oh,
You
like
know, I
one of those
mean,
like
as
landlord things.
houses, yeah. So he
Right.
has the house. So this guy has the house. He's renting it out to people. Apparently, Latoya isn't the first one that he rented it
Mm,
out to. So maybe she was the last. She was obviously the last one in the house.
yeah.
But
That's
he even
crazy.
said there's not people. He has a hard time renting it out because people have these experiences and don't want to stay
That's
there.
crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy enough to
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's
Well,
but
a crazier thing. Okay, okay, check this out, man. Okay,
mhm,
the day that the cops went out there, right? And you
mhm.
can look it up. You can look it up. Google it. Google it. Everyone's Google this. Look at. You can see it. The day that the cops went out there, after they all left, right? Nobody's in the house. They searched the house top to bottom. It was only like a handful of cops. I think it might have been like four cops, five cops, something like that. They all left. They turned around. They took a picture of the house. There's somebody standing in the window in the house.
What?
Yeah, and you can
Hold on.
see it.
No way.
Yeah,
What's it called?
the Gary called the Demon House. I guess is what you look.
Demon House. Gary, Indiana.
Hmm.
Images. This is gonna be terrifying, isn't it?
It's gonna be
Holy
terrifying.
crap.
You see it?
What the fuck? There's
Yeah,
someone that's clearly
standing in the window.
I mean, it doesn't help that this shit's so fucking grainy. Hold on.
All right. I know that's another thing. It's like 2011. It's not 1986. Should have better
Yeah,
cameras than that.
what the fuck is going on?
There
All right, there
were
we go.
iPhones back then, right?
La Casa de los 200 Demonios is the clearest image so far.
Really?
It is the best image. I guess people
Pretty
are trying
creepy.
to like blow up the image. Let me see if I can pull it up for
Mm,
everyone.
yeah.
You
If you're
know,
watching,
let's
if
see.
you're watching it, see if we can
Yeah,
show it to you.
and this is where I end the podcast. No, I'm just like, let me see. Our
Casa de los
podcast is
demonios.
possessed. And Casa de 200 Demonios. What a how do I zoom in, bro? Can I zoom in?
Actually,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Cool.
Man, look at that.
Check that out, dude.
Yeah, look at that.
I like
There
that's
are, if you got, that's
freaking
somebody
wild.
standing there. Yeah. And that scared the crap out of the cops that were there. And you can tell that it's in the daytime. It's not like it's at night. It's in the daytime. Nobody was in the house. They turned around and took a picture of it, and somebody's standing there.
That's I would say that's like a class
Look,
10 demon right there.
look at that down there at the bottom. Oh,
Oh
that's all good.
shit, sorry.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
No,
You're
no,
good.
it's crazy, man. There's a bunch
Yeah.
of dude, Demon House pulls up way too many things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Quick exit out of that, would you?
Yeah, I'm out of there. Yeah, man. Let me get back to Joe Osteen. Let me like let me just put that in the let me put that in the
Yeah.
search. Let's,
Yeah, that'll get rid of
let's wipe that out.
yeah, put like Care Bears or something.
Care Bears, Joe Osteen. What is a Twizzler? Like do something so it actually I went to Penn State. So there you go.
Oh,
What?
that's
That's wild, man. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, man.
A lot of times, what's creepy? It to me is like when you take those photos, and you don't see it with like your naked eye, and then you're going back and because back in the day, and that wasn't even back in the day, but let's say back in the day, right? When you capture these ghosts in like the third floor attic window, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And like you're developing it and you see a face, I would shit myself. I would
Okay.
shit myself if I'm in that red room and I'm like developing the film and all of a sudden I see this thing that didn't
Shouldn't be
exist
there.
when I pointed the camera at it, I would shit myself.
Now I wonder, like, if is it the is it that you just don't notice it, you don't see it at the time, or is it the camera that actually just catches it? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm standing next to you and I look at the window, can I see it with my naked eye if I'm looking, or can you only see it because the camera took the picture? You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like how now hear me out on this kind of crazy wackadoo thing that I'm about to bring up.
That's why we're here.
If let's say you were to replace the word demon with interdimensional being, right? And they can phase in and phase out of reality, or at least our dimension. Um, maybe when you take a picture, maybe because they're pulsing. That's how
Oh my
matter
gosh.
moves through stuff.
You know what I just popped into my head when you said that?
Mm.
Interstellar. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I have. It's been a minute, but yeah, yeah. No, that's it.
Do you remember that movie? Because I remember she was like in part of the movie. Here we go, movies. Um, she was like, "Oh, there's a ghost in my room," and it wasn't a ghost. It was
It
her
was
father,
him.
right? Like doing that in interdimensional. Oh man, that could
So
be.
that could
So the
be.
man walking around could have been somebody else. Like,
Yeah, but that goes out the window when it like fucks with the children. You know what I mean? That goes out the
I
window.
mean, yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
But again,
but
it could be something else that's there too.
yeah,
But it could
yeah.
be interdimension. But um, shit, I totally lost my train of thought right there.
Well,
I had it.
I think
I
it's
had it. I
I
was
I
gonna
think
say
that,
something
but I
else.
think I think if you are to phase
Mm,
through materials and stuff that you can move around, then maybe
mhm.
that camera, that quick second, that moment
Catches
that
it.
it captures catches it.
It
You
could.
know,
So, talking about the pictures though, a friend of mine, she was with she was with a couple of her friends, and they were in Frederick, and I think it was Frederick, but anyway, I think it was Frederick. Anyway, so she was like walking around, and I guess they were at some like asylum or old hospital up there that was shut down. So she's walking around, they're walking around, and she did the same thing. She just randomly was taking pictures because she thought that the building was kind of cool, and her and her friends were there, and it was a group of 3 or 4. They're all together. There's nobody there. There's not even a security guard there. They're all together. And she took a picture, and her friend says, "Holy crap, look at that picture." And she's like, "What?" She's like, there's a lady or there's a girl that's standing right there, and you can see it." And she blew it up. She showed it to me. I saw it. It's a girl standing in the window looking at them, and she has like on like
yeah.
what like a nightgown or like
Yep. Nope.
you know, yeah.
That's a lot of nope. That's a lot of nope. That's a
Yeah.
lot of nope. I
That
can't. No. Especially things like that. Like to me, it's like you're going to find that stuff. Like that's a given. It's like it would be more shocking to just walk into an empty asylum and not be creeped out.
Well, like you said, if your house makes noises anyway, just it all automatically does, right? It makes
Yeah.
noises. It's settling. That's what happens. It makes noises. It creaks, cracks. When you go looking for that stuff, you're like, hey, let's go find something haunted. Let's go, whatever. You go in there, you know you're bound to hear something because your brain is telling you you're
Yeah.
gonna hear it, you
Yep.
know?
It's forcing your brain to make connections where it
Yeah,
normally wouldn't.
right. a bird
Yeah.
flies and you're like, oh my gosh, I saw something there. Your eyes plays tricks on you. You
Yep.
hear stuff. Yeah, definitely,
And I
definitely.
just, but I that's why I'm like, these people that ghost hunt and do this kind of stuff like this, like they are either insanely brave, insanely dumb, because
I
like
think it's 50-50.
it's 50-50, man, because it's kind of like
It's like playing a Ouija board.
it is. It's like, okay, what happens now? Hear me out. Okay, what happens if it exists? Then what?
Well, then you pissed off some demon
Yeah, which is a lose lose.
always.
It's not like, do they think they're going to get money for research or whatever? What is the drive? That's the question I would love to ask. What is the drive behind trying to capture these dimensional entities, be
Hmm.
it demons, be it angels, be it ghosts, be it, you know, what I get cryptids because they're out there in nature. Like it's a different, like, oh, what was it?
Hmm.
It's like a nature scavenger hunt kind of thing. Um, but like the spiritual stuff, like the stuff we can't see, like, don't go looking for that shit. For me, I'm like, then what? Then you're fucked up for the rest of your life. Like, what, or worst case scenario, you bring whatever darkness that you were hunting home,
I mean, yeah,
you
because I
know?
mean, doing that, I feel like you do it attract stuff like that, and you do, or I find that something would attach itself to you in that
Yeah.
case.
Well, I think in another episode we should uncover the interesting ways that the people that uncovered King Tut's tomb died, because that's an interesting one too. That th- yeah, yeah, I think we
Coming
should.
soon.
That's that, but I wanted to reference that without trying to give all of that away. But it's
Well,
something
what
like that.
happened
It's
to him?
like, well, stay tuned. Um, that's funny you should ask that. My second story is, no, I'm kidding. All
Yeah.
right,
Good segue.
good segue. No, but I feel like, when you go mess around like that, you're not prepared as to what happens if,
Yeah,
you
dude,
know.
nobody's ready for any of that stuff, man.
That's why I
Nobody's ready
think
for that
that
stuff.
people that go hunting for that already know that it's ridiculous. That's why. And
Nobody's ready.
because it's like, they go hunting for this just to do their thing. It's like a passion, it's a hobby. One of these days they're going to find one, or one of these days they're going to capture one. One of these days there's going to be irrefutable proof that shit exists. And
Mhm.
the little teenager that's hunting on their like iPhone 28 or 94 at that point is going to be like, and that shit's proven. Like, great. Super duper. Now what? Now what? Like, all these people that go hunting don't understand what happens when you find what you're looking for. Like Bigfoot, I would shit my pants if I went in the woods like, all right, man, I'm just banging sticks, and all of a sudden, fucking
Oh,
Harry,
just
Harry,
watch,
and the fucking Hendersons pop out.
and then a real
You
one
know,
comes out, and you're like, "Oh, what do I
like
do now?"
I was like, give it beef jerky. Like, like,
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
doesn't work.
Like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you don't. No one's ever prepared for actually like putting up, or like what to do after. They're just like, the whole thing, the whole industry is meant for the hunt.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
it's not meant for what happens when you find them. You know, that's that's a different industry. Like, like, where's that TV show?
Right.
Yeah, like, I just, I don't get it. Like, there's no ecto trap. There's no, you slide it under the ghost and trap
It's
it.
like,
Like, there's
"Don't cross the
no,
streams."
yeah, there's none of that. So it's just like, what the fuck? Like, that's what I think. And like, you go out to hunt, it's to get something. Like you go
Hands
out
down.
to hunt, even animals. You go out to hunt to get food. You go out to hunt to do whatever you got to do to get away from the house, which is pretty much it. But um, but ghost hunting, like, it's I don't see what happens if it turns out to be legit. You know what I mean? Like it's not worth it. To me, that's not worth it because we don't have the infrastructure to even understand that if it
Right.
is real. How would without if you present irrefutable proof that ghosts are real, how is everyone else going to deal with that? No, they're going to disappear you and unalive you because they can't handle the repercussions of what
Yeah.
you just found. So you find a ghost and it's irrefutable. You've just signed your death warrant.
Yeah.
You know,
No, you got it.
don't start your car. Like it's gonna blow, go
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah. Just what you need is like a bike, pedal bike.
Yeah, a pedal bike. Yeah, exactly, a pedal
You know,
bike.
a
But
scooter or something.
that's one of those things where I'm thinking of like I that's how I think like 10 steps. Like what happens if you have to think about what you're basically thinking about undoing. You're like you're basically toppling a bunch of either belief systems or reaffirming certain belief systems. It would change everything if
Oh,
there
it
was
would. It
irrefutable
would.
proof, you
Yeah.
know.
Definitely.
Or maybe not. Look how we handled aliens.
I think something like that because again, it's religion. It would deal with religion and
Yeah,
so many people. I mean, so many people have a religion that they follow, and it's not
yeah,
just Christianity, Judaism, Catholicism, whatever, Hinduism, Buddhism, all that stuff. So I would assume it would affect everybody clear across the board.
yeah. I think it would, and that all those entities that make that money, you know, yeah. You don't mess with those guys' money, man.
Mm-mm,
You don't jeopardize that.
mm-mm,
They'll
no,
end you. You know,
yeah,
even what's his face, the dude from Germany. You know that World War II guy. He didn't even attack the Vatican.
mm,
He left that alone.
that's a
You
whole
know,
nother level, man. The Vatican,
yeah. But the dude that wrote Mein Kampf didn't attack the Vatican.
Minecraft.
Minecraft. That was a great. Oh my god. Oh my god. I wish I could play that.
can
I
we
wish I could play that. That
can we
was
play?
so funny. I
Are
don't
we
even know if I
allowed
can
to or no?
find it. I mean, I wouldn't because if this I as soon as you play that, it will never see the light of day on YouTube. Just period. Just don't do it. Even though the thing
Okay.
exists on YouTube,
Okay.
yeah, it wouldn't.
If anybody has seen it,
It's worth it.
bookmark that thing because that's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It is. But no, man. That's pretty interesting. So basically, a ghost hunter himself bought the house and destroyed it, which is what should have been the whole beginning
Yeah,
plan of it to begin
the
with.
guy that owned the house should have done that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember
But
why. Oh, because of the ooze on the walls and the
he
ghosts
um he sold it for like 34, 35 or something like that.
in 2011 or 12.
Mhm. Yeah, it
Wow.
wasn't like it was a big house. It was just like it was a one level. Well, it technically it was one level house. Had a basement. And I guess it had 3 rooms in it. So it wasn't a
So it's
big house.
not a, but still not a tiny house, not like an apartment.
No, no, no. It was a
Wow.
house. It was
Yeah.
so
That's crazy though. That's crazy. I would have
yeah.
loved to see like the neighbors and what they thought about it because they've had to heard the screams and the like,
Gosh.
you know what I mean? Like, we're like, I don't know, man. I have so many questions because in that picture, the next door neighbors didn't look that far away.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe it was one of those neighborhoods where it's like, okay, yeah, I hear stuff, and I'm gonna mind my business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty much because I would move too. Once I figured out what was happening, I'm like, yeah, let's kind of get out of here. There's a demon portal opening in that house. Let's
Yeah,
remove ourselves.
it was crazy, dude. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, man. No, it's
So what? So what do you have for us?
well, man, I have something that is quite relevant. Um the island of Maui is currently on fire.
Not Moana, the Rock,
Not
Maui.
Moana, not
Okay,
Moana, but people know Maui from the
okay.
historical representation of Moana. Now, uh, so the biggest question is not that the fires there were fires on Maui, right? Right,
There was
but
like a huge fire, right?
it's a massive fire, but it's not due to its volcanic anything.
Hmm.
It's very interesting. There's a lot of stuff being brought to light, and a lot of these things that are being brought is like unanswered questions and convenient coincidences that aren't being addressed. Stuff that like government and whatever that's they could easily quash if they just said whatever that people like need to hear for real.
Hmm.
Like they could, all right, shut up. They could totally say a biolab caught on fire, or because of the fire, the way it's moving, there is a biological hazard for people in that area. That's not the case. People aren't even allowed to go back in the area, which is very, very odd.
Uh,
Maybe not as odd, but
because it's dangerous, or because of there's like some kind of um
that's that's the thing. It's like
chemical nobody
n-
knows.
no one knows. It's like there's military, there's there's police force, there's a bunch of different military operations or people that work with military and government there, which is kind of weird for a
Mhm.
what you would call a forest fire
Natural
level event,
natural
even though yeah,
disaster.
natural disaster. There you go. What
How
forest fire
did the
level
fire
event?
start?
The
Did
fuck?
did you
Yeah.
did you see how
Well,
those
that
fires even started?
now that is interesting. People are well, so what I read is that they are going to be bringing up like a lawsuit against the Hawaiian Energy Company for like a down line possibly, right? But even if it's a down line, it takes at least 10 to 15 minutes for that fire to get out of control. The conditions, well, the pre-existing conditions for this fire to thrive were right when it started, like high winds, stuff like what are the bucket copters, the helicopters that
Hmm.
dump the water
Yeah.
couldn't fly in because of the winds, is what they're claiming, right? Because of the high winds, they couldn't fly the relief helicopters. And
So
Mhm,
I heard that uh there was a hurricane or tropical storm, tropical depression that was in the area, and that
mhm.
fueled the fires more. Is that true?
I have no idea, but this is something that's like been blowing up my feeds on YouTube and the news,
Hmm.
and I haven't really clicked on it because it I don't click on the California wildfires, you know? But this one's
Hmm.
different. This one's not in the fucking forest. This is a wildfire in the town, in the city. Now, the biggest questions that are being asked and not answered are where and why is this fire that is raging supposedly out of control burning in such a, I would say, selective process? Because every multimillionaire's house, every rich and famous actor's house has not been touched once. The village adjacent to where the rich and famous live, not scathed. They didn't have to evacuate, they stayed. Everyone else, gone. can't even go back yet. Can't even cross the police line yet.
But the rich people
Eh,
can.
Yeah, they haven't left. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
look at what happened with Canada when Canada was on fire. Like, do you see how it affected our air?
Yeah, it was
Like,
crazy.
it was
All the way
crazy. We
down like
had
the whole
all
East
yeah,
Coast.
yeah. It and we couldn't even go outside. It was like a terrible air quality warning. But these guys were like chilling in their mansions. Like, doesn't make
Well,
sense.
what gets me is, and I heard this, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they're still allowing people to go vacation over there.
Yeah, that makes like no sense. That that's one of the things that's like, national security. It should be a lockdown place. Like the island
Hmm.
should be locked down. People should start managing, and also they are inhibiting food donations for the needy. If it's not a Red Cross donation, they will not ship it to Maui, which is crazy because there's a guy on YouTube that posted a video. He had like
Hmm.
18 pallets of stuff ready to go, and they won't accept it because it
Hmm.
didn't come
Really
from it didn't come from a uh, registered NGO, which is a non-government organization. That's weird.
interesting.
That's weird, and that maybe it's not a thing, but I see like the photos and the coverage of it, and that fire, that wildfire, is has burnt in a complete like circle, bro. Like circle,
Really,
like straight circle around it. Let me see if
like
I
literally
can.
went like it went like this, or did it go
Yeah,
like this and like skip around the rich people's houses?
no, it just went in a circle, just a big fucking
Really,
circle. And boats are on fire. Riddle me that, Batman. Like,
boats are on fire. How are
yeah,
boats on fire?
it burned boats. So like, there's something weird about it. It just doesn't add up. So here I pulled up an article from, let's say, not let's say, from Forbes.
Let's guess.
Let's say something that rhymes with morbs. All right. Uh where is it? Let me see. Here we go. I'm trying to actually get to when this person that's writing the article actually gets to what they need to talk about. Uh,
Which okay, so I do find that this topic very interesting. It, there's a lot of questions I've seen. The mayor being interviewed, like press conferences and stuff like that, and people were like giving him a hard time, and it didn't seem like he had too many answers.
no one does. No one does. I've heard claims from that it was oh my god, what is it called? The acronym for it is a DEW, which is a direct energy weapon. That's what
Mm,
people are claiming. The photos have surfaced that they show like a light beam hitting and starting a fire. Well, all three photos are not legit. They're different places in the world where fires have started. So the
uh,
photos that are
so if you
circulating,
see a
they're not
photo of that, it's
like a
garbage throw it
ray
away.
coming down. It's
Mhm.
not of
Was it from
Maui.
like The Simpsons or something?
Yeah, it's from James Bond. It's like, oh man. But yeah, so right here in Forbes it says Maui's government has filed a lawsuit against the island's energy utility company, Hawaiian Electric, claiming that downed power lines sparked the initial flames and that poor management thereafter led to the unabated spread. Now, I feel like when you live on an island as that goes through like arid temperatures and these kind of droughts or climate changes, um, the firefighters know exactly what the fuck to do to stop
Mhm.
their island from going up. I mean, aside from a volcanic eruption, they pretty much have that on lock. That's like their everyday routine is stopping the spread of fire. Don't ever
Right.
ruin the tourism industry. Don't ever touch that. That is Hawaii's bread and butter. And this fire is just weird because they're not letting people go back in. They're not letting people film. They're not letting people uh like photograph it.
But they're
And
letting people come and visit. They're
yeah,
letting tourists come in and
to the
go
island, yeah.
parasailing. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
And
That
it
makes
does it.
no
It just
sense.
it makes no sense. I know the other day we touched on the the what is it called? What do we call her? The mega Karen on the plane, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, like and how the response was the weirdest part of it all.
Right,
Like
right,
the weirdness is not that Maui's on fire. It's
right.
unfortunate that Maui's on fire. It's the lack of knowledge
It's what's happening,
surrounding
right, what's happening
it.
after the fact,
Yeah, why
during the
can't
fact.
people go in and claim they're dead? Why can't they come out with a conducive list of the dead? You know,
Mhm,
I understand that it is a tragic loss of life that they put. I mean, I don't even know what the death. It's probably in the 800s. 800 people died, probably. Looking at
mhm.
the damage, like, let me see if I
But
can
that's not
pull
even like a
this.
clear-cut number either. It's not even close because
No,
they're not even giving, they're saying so many people have died, but they're not, but they're like, but there's still X amount of people missing. Are they considered dead? Are they just missing? Like, and then nobody's saying anything, right?
yeah, and why are the palm trees still up? All the buildings are burnt to a crisp, but these palm trees are still chilling. It's just weird. It's just something about this is just odd. Just odd.
Mhm,
And then on top of that, like a side rabbit hole that I thought was very interesting, that they've come out and said it was definitely not a um a direct energy weapon that did this. So
so
that
they
means it definitely was.
right, right, yeah. So they're saying, they're trying to say, like, it wasn't a direct energy weapon.
And then I'm just like, we have direct energy weapons. Like, and we know what they can do, and this doesn't look like what they can do. So what the where have you been testing that? California every summer? You know? Like
Right, right.
I just there the tinfoil hat, I feel like it it opens a lot of questions that need to be asked, and you're not allowed to ask the questions. And it's weird. It's something that's very interesting about it.
Mhm,
You know, it's just not the the tragedy of this is the loss of the insane loss of life, the complete lack of response and funding and assistance that there is for the people that are living there. But on top of that, if you can step away from um I mean you shouldn't, but it's like why did the government respond like it did? That makes no
mhm.
sense. Nothing about
Right,
this
yeah,
makes sense.
nothing.
This thing should have ravaged the whole coast of this island if it was a normal wildfire that got took by the winds, but yet it missed the wealthy. And the area that burned down
Mhm.
is prime real estate.
So, did you hear about this also where people, um, that supposed real estate agents or real estate companies were calling people about, "Oh, we wanna buy your land from you." And they're going in and buying it, saying, "Hey, we're gonna give you $50,000 for this." Obviously, they're gonna turn that around and sell it for, like, $1,000,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why the residents were holding out. They were just
Mhm.
like it's your duty not to sell.
Yeah, and they were like,
And
they're telling, I saw videos where a lady's like, "I live on the island. Don't get, if you get a phone call, hang up. Try to get their name if you can. Who are they? Their phone number, what company they're saying they're from, or what company they represent, and any kind of information you can from, and then hang up. Don't sell. Keep this land. This is our land and stuff." And I'm with them,
uh,
man. I'm like, yeah, man.
yeah,
Anybody coming in to being a vulture like that, I mean, forget that, man. They
it's theirs
no,
first. You know what I mean?
hell yeah, yeah.
It's theirs for
People, they
and the
live there.
wealthy. Yeah, the wealthy wanted beachfront property, and they were like, mm. Eh, I'm not saying they did it, but there's a bunch of questions being asked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A bunch of questions like, well, where were you the night of, that can't be answered by a lot of important people that need to have answers.
Yep. Yep.
So just put those all together. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very interesting. Like you have different, it's a multi faceted conspiracy theory, which are always interesting because when you have, was it the wealthy? Was it there's claims that it could be the current, maybe the sheriff was in cahoots with whoever, you know,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't around, not started, but wasn't around or something like
Right.
that. And then there's the direct energy weapon from the Death Star fucking landing in
Right.
Hawaii. And it's just like there's so many different things that one of, it's like when you have all these different types of conspiracies, one of them sounds less crazy.
So then was it the moon? Did the moon use their death ray on
Death
Hawaii,
Ray, yeah,
testing it out?
the lizard people.
Yeah.
Um
So is the moon our Death Star? Is that what it is?
yeah, I would be fine with that. I would be fine with that. Um, and what just what happens is that like there's so many effing questions. Like let's just say it is it is a rampant wildfire, right? That broke
Mhm.
out in the city. People understand. There's been multiple documented disasters of fires ripping through cities. Like I think there was one in San Francisco that almost took out the whole fucking city.
Yeah, but
But that
wasn't that
that
like
city took out the whole city. It's like
right?
block by block, doesn't matter what your
Right. It
tax
didn't
bracket
skip
is.
certain houses, you
Yeah.
know.
And it's just weird. Like if it is just a wildfire, fair enough. But the wealthy didn't suffer any collateral damage. And police aren't stopping the wealthy from getting to and from their commute.
Mhm.
They're not blocking
Mhm.
people off to go find their own family members dead in their ruins of the house. You know what I mean? Which is
Mhm.
not usually the case. And I read a comment on one of these YouTube videos that there's this guy from New Zealand, and he said that in his country, you know, he's trained to get to a fire within 20 30 minutes and you can still have it under control, right?
Mhm.
Even from the ground, not even just the air. And it's kind of like, this thing got out of control that fast. That
Like
is
it, it
insane.
it looked crazy, dude. It literally did look like hell on earth. It looked like they were just going through the worst of the worst, because they I saw
Yep.
videos of people like jumping in the ocean to get away from it. People were at
Yep.
resorts, and they were sitting in the pool, and they took the cameras around, and it's fire all the way around them. They're just
Yep.
surrounded by fire, and
Like
everything's
this
burning.
is, I'll share this with you. This is
Share,
Maui,
show the people they want to see
uh,
this.
Maui. This is 17 days ago. Let me see if I can bring this up. Do, 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 do. Let's see if I can. See if I can do that. So this is 17 days ago. It's just
Wow, look at
odd. It's
that,
just
man.
odd.
It's just burning like in a circle, like you
Yeah.
said. It's almost like lava, like it's how lava's like that. But
Right. But the fact that this wildfire took boats out, like, I don't know. I don't know. There is a lot of questions on this one. I would show more, but I can't. I
that's
can't.
fine.
Like I can't validate those photos. But this one
Mhm.
I've seen used on Fox, CNN, MSNBC. I've seen this photo circulate. So, I'm not saying we copy off their stuff, but if they're banking all their whatever credibility they have left on that photo,
Mhm.
then all right, I'm fine using that photo that I've seen.
Why not?
Um,
Why not?
but yeah, no, I think it's just something that people and humans and the American people deserve answers, especially on what the f is going on. Because the more you push away answers or a clear cut answer, the more it starts smelling like a cover up. Like that's pretty much it. And
Because we got more
it's
questions than answers.
yeah, yeah, it's like it's like the curious case of the wildfire, because if it was a wildfire, it'd be simple and done. Like it's unfortunate, it's a tragedy. It's a national tragedy that needs to be supported.
Mhm.
It needs
Yep.
to be People need help, and the government has stifled relief efforts, and that's weird. That's
Yeah,
the
it's like, why don't
weirdest
you want
thing.
to help the people? Why don't you want to help your people, our people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, anyway, I'm not going to get on a political soapbox, and I'm not going to do that on this channel because it's already weird enough. It's already weird enough. But there are a lot of important questions that are not getting answered. And because of that, raises whole new speculations, all new. Like, questions that we should never be asking about just a mere wildfire are being presented, you know? So that's my story, man. I think it's something that's happening like real time right now.
Right. I know.
Anyone that's listening can just pop that in and
Yeah.
search it out for yourself. And
No,
it's
man.
just
Really,
um
it's we. There's a lot of questions, man. When there are little to no answers for any of them.
yep, yep. If there's a lot of flies, it's probably shit, you know,
Yeah, or a dead animal.
or dead or death. Yeah. And that's that's just dude, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And some of these claims, some of these conspiracy theories, man, that they're throwing out there are freaking insane. Like talking all the way back to the guy who rhymes with Mepstein. Like,
Really,
yeah,
really.
yeah, like certain neighbors of certain people, they're
Mm.
well off and good and thriving.
Are they trying to buy some of the land up?
They already have hundreds
Mm.
hundreds of acres.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
The fire
Yeah.
hasn't touched their land.
Not their new acreage.
Wow,
So
wow.
that's the part where you're just like, the fuck, you get these like little whispers in the wind about like connections, and you're like,
So another question.
okay.
Another question. I heard um they're reading some of the articles, and I don't know if you come across it, but they said that a lot of children are missing,
That's
and
interesting. I
and
wouldn't
they're not dead. They're not sure if they're missing or if they have died, but they're saying that there's children that are missing because a lot of people are saying, or people are online are saying, like, you can see obviously there's dead bodies, but they're all adults, and a lot of and when they show people it's mainly adults, they're not showing children because they know there's children out there. So where are all the children?
I could go so many different ways with that, man. You know? Because of name I just dropped, and a certain movie that came out, and a certain interesting wave that is taking over the Hollywood, like pop media, pop culture.
Which I have to say, I
It's like
saw the
there's
movie.
You
I
did?
saw the movie. Yeah, I saw it twice. Yeah,
How
I
was
liked
it?
it. It was good. It is a little tough to watch, man. It's a little tough to watch. Um, it's still a good movie. I mean, I like it. It's a good movie.
Did you get that dad anger riled up in you?
Oh,
Like, yeah.
uh, dude, from
Yeah,
the jump, right from the beginning, like 10 minutes in
yeah,
the movie, if that, I was like, I'm sitting there like, dude, what are you doing?
yeah,
Like, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but yeah, within the first few minutes, I'm like, what are you doing? There's
yeah.
no way that somebody's no.
Yeah, and it's so interesting when you throw names like the one I dropped, right? And missing children all of a sudden. and biggest biggest illegal business, or second biggest illegal enterprise in the
It's on its
world.
way to be number one.
It's on its way to be number one.
Yeah, yeah.
Is Yeah, and that's
It's
just
disgusting.
out of for those of you that, I hope you guys understand, we're talking cryptic for a very specific reason.
Everybody's like, "What are you talking about?"
We're we're talking about transportation of humans. I'll say it
Little
like
humans,
that because I
little
know,
humans,
yeah, little humans,
little
uh,
humans, smaller
transportation
humans.
of those. I'll leave it
Yeah.
right there. Um, so it's interesting. It's interesting because those types of people will follow um big disasters
Mm,
to capitalize on their pull.
mhm,
You know,
mm,
like you born Ukraine,
mhm.
a lot of people are MIA.
Yeah.
You know, that are small.
Mm.
So stuff like
Ugh,
that,
god
stuff
damn.
like that. So
That
it's just
that that gets me, man. Oh,
it
makes me so
adds
mad.
that layer of like, and unfortunately, I mean, they could have been tragically lost in the fire itself, because there's lots of debris, lots of heat, lots of, like, there's so many different factors. I mean, I don't, too many questions, dude. It's just so many freaking questions, and there's no answers. And that's the part,
Mm-mm.
like, as a government, as a state, you got to have the answers right out of the gate.
And you gotta have some kinda answers that people can get on board with.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're like, "We're gonna look into it," people are like, "Dude, that just sounds like more smoke up my ass. I'm not doing it. No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
No way."
Yeah. You want and I feel like finally the people have s- have spoken about it. Like they see people are less dumb now than they have been. And I say that kind of sort of like, not tongue in cheek, but
Blanket
I
statement.
yeah, it's like we
'Cause I feel like
very
so I feel like
yeah,
we're getting dumber.
yeah, no, as a whole, at least as a
Yeah,
country,
as a whole, definitely.
as a country for sure,
It's
as a
spreading
as a
it's spreading overseas, man.
it is, but only to, I would say, up and coming first world countries, second world
Yeah.
countries, stuff like that. Definitely not where they have common sense.
Well,
You
speaking of
know?
dumb how dumb people are, or how dumb we've been or we're getting. Do you see these people doing the whole, like, stop the oil, spread of oil, and they're standing in traffic?
Oh, I saw them get bulldozed.
Did you see that? The one in Arizona? Was it Arizona or
Yeah,
something?
that
Yeah, that
was
was awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, because all those people were on their way
Was
to Burning Man,
awesome. Yeah.
and they're like, "Get out of there!" And the cops finally showed up, and the cops like,
Yep.
"Get out of the way!" And he just like runs through
They
them,
they
and then they
gave
all
them.
start crying.
Hey, listen,
It's like, "That's
they
awesome."
gave them fair they gave them warning, because I think that's the same group that, like, threw paint or dye or disrupted a lot of shit that went on in the UK.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes, it's the same group.
same
It,
group
it's a whole
did
yeah.
that shit. Doesn't go down here, and it was a reservation police. It wasn't the I
Like
would say the
state or
county
whatever.
police, state
Yeah,
police. It was the reservation. They handle their shit different, dude.
yeah.
They don't answer to no one. That's what
But
happens
but
when you
what it
don't
looked like,
research.
what it looked like those cops didn't give a fuck. They were just
Nope.
like, "Get out of the way."
Yep. Well, you want your hurt feelings report filed? We'll do that, but you got to
Yeah,
move
it's
now.
it's gonna be in our special special drawer, which is the
Yeah.
trash can.
Yeah, the hurt feelings repository. My thing is, like, dude, don't mess with them. There's still places out there where people would still have fucking common sense. I
All right,
mean, those places are getting less and less prevalent in our
look,
country, but still.
I this is America. Freedom of speech, freedom to do whatever what you want to do. I believe you want to protest. I am 100% with protesting. Whatever you want to protest about, do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Stand on the sidewalk. Don't block people that are trying to walk on the sidewalk. Stand on the sidewalk. stand right there, hold your sign up, yell, scream, do whatever you want. Don't stand in the middle of the road and block everybody else. Don't glue your hands onto the concrete. Don't
Yep.
like go into these museums and like throw paint on these pictures and knock stuff
Yeah.
over because you're trying. Why don't these people go to like the CEO houses or whoever's doing all
That's
these and glue their hands to their side to those
that's
sidewalks?
because maybe they in their minds it's raising awareness, but they're just acting a fool. They're being
No, it's
stupid. They're
and you
making
know what?
people late to
Yeah,
shit.
I and I'm like I said, I'm all for it. You wanna act a fool? Go for it. Do it.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. But don't do it when we're just trying to go to work, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Don't
my
do it to
thing.
like the don't do it to the little guys. We're the little guys.
Yeah.
Go do
Yeah.
it. Why don't they
You're
go to Saudi Arabia and stand in front of their, gold castle
because
and do all that
they
stuff?
would not come back with heads. And they know that.
Yeah,
And they
see?
know that.
Go do that over there where it would make a
And
difference.
that's my thing is like they know that over there they can push the boundaries and there's really no repercussion. Over here
Mhm.
there's less and less repercussion, but there's still some,
A lot
right?
less. Yeah.
Over there, bro, you will get either publicly stoned or beheaded. And they have them on lock, dude.
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
no shenanigery in the open.
Mm-mm.
Shenanigery is not a word, but shenaniganism, tomfoolery. There's no tomfoolery out there in the open. I mean, what they
Tom
do behind
tomfooleriness.
behind closed curtains, and literally, like that's their doors. Like what they do behind closed doors is them. Like that, yeah, it's probably all jacked up, but their
Whatever.
public is pretty on lock right there.
Yeah,
You know,
dude.
no, yeah,
We totally
that's why
went off
like
topic though.
yeah.
We
So
went to like
anyway,
a demon house and we went to
that's
this
to
strange
Saudi
wildfire.
Arabia oil fracking.
Now it's the political views.
Yeah. Let's just divide everyone. No, so do ghosts exist? Who knows? Demons? Who knows, guys? All I know is the fire in Maui real 100%.
Is it AI?
Um, yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. Bro, I beg all of our listeners to like go check it out. Like both stores, really. Both stores. Make sure you
If you're not if you don't scare easily, go check out the demon house thing. Go check it out.
oh
If you
yeah.
do scare
Yeah.
easily, don't go
Go
check it
check out
out
the
because it
Demon
is
House thing.
it's pretty wild, man. When you like
Draw
get
the
into this
pentagram on the floor in chalk.
with salt. No, you got to use salt.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say put their phone in and summon the Dark
Oh, okay.
Lord. You know, don't
He's
just
like,
half ass it.
he's gonna be like, this is an android.
Yeah, supposed to be an apple. When did they come out with the new one? Oh my god. But yeah, no man. This has been fun. And the thing is for these kind of things that I love is just we're just we are asking questions. That's what we're doing, and we're trying to bring people together in the community to ask the same questions with us. And if any of you guys that have maybe an inside like tip, let us know in the comments. Communicate with us, guys.
Yeah,
In
let
the
us know.
comments
We'll
section.
definitely get back to you. And just don't do the political stuff, please.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
stick to the stuff
I
that we don't
I
know either.
yeah. We're not chasing waterfalls on here, or we're not
Yeah.
Jason Waterfalls. As I used to thought. I thought they sung that. I was like, "Who's Jason Waterfalls?" Like, oh, it's chasing
That
waterfalls. Oh my god, makes a lot more sense. I was like,
is
"Poor
that
Jason."
is that like Jason Bourne? Is that his
Yeah,
little
like
brother, Jason
Jason. Yeah,
Waterfalls?
don't go. Yeah, definitely don't go Jason Waterfalls. Fuck that guy. Um, but anyway, definitely leave a comment on this, guys, so that way we can fuel our next
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. what the hell were we even talking about?
I think we're talking about why do platypuses have bills?
Why is it called a platypus?
Yes. And do the people in Australia walk upside down on the next episode? You know, like, oh man.
But do they? Is that considered
I don't
upside
know.
down? We're gonna talk
I'm
about that
pretty
next
sure.
time. We're gonna talk
We're
about
gonna
that
talk
next.
about it.
Not right
Oh yeah,
now.
definitely.
That's for
No,
the next
no, we're
show,
not.
guys. Yeah,
That's
so don't forget to tune in if you want to know the answer. Does gravity work upside down?
Oh yeah, yeah. Come to the question channel. We got you for all the questions you didn't ask.
Oh shoot.
Oh my god.
But thank you everybody for joining us today. Remember, as always, please don't forget to hit the like button, share, subscribe, leave a comment, please. Like we said, we will get back to you because that's what we do. We sit by the computer and wait for you to leave a comment.
We have no life. Res, help us.
Help us get out of this.
God.
Every little bit helps. All the support, we
Yes.
love it and appreciate it. So please don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow. Check us out on Spotify as well. Thank you again, Daniel.
Man, it was my pleasure. Thank you all for entertaining our voices in your ear holes.
Yeah, and just wait till the next episode. I got a good one for you next
What?
time. I do.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. Fuck yeah.
Cliffhanger.
Woo. Great
It's
movie.
not. Yeah. Was it a great movie?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of loss. A lot of loss.
I didn't like it too much.
He was more fighting his mental enemies more than his physical enemies.
his speech enemies.
Yeah, he always did that fucking
His verbal.
flashback. Yeah, yeah. It was that flashback was like 90% of the movie.
Yeah, dude, I didn't like it. Oh, best part of that was when Ace Ventura, when Nature Calls, when they did the
Parodied
little
that?
scene. When they did the scene from that house with the raccoon. That
was the best.
that was so
was
funny.
the
I love
best.
that movie. I love that movie. I took my mom to go see that movie, and
Did you
she,
really?
yeah, I did. I said I want to go to the movies. You want to go with me? She goes, yeah. And we went to the movies, and she hated it. She hated every minute, and she kept saying, "Why do you think he's so funny?" And I think he's funny. I think it's funny. It made me laugh. The raccoon died, all that stuff. Anyway,
Anyway,
go
we're here
another.
now.
All right, let's get out of here before it's going to be like a
Yes.
3-hour show. But anyway, thanks again, everybody. Thank you, Daniel, once again.
man.
And as always, love having you on. Please come back. Until next time, peace.